Hello from Bramall Lane. Just after Man City have just beaten Sheffield United 2-1 to maintain a 100% start to the season. Really good game, I thought. Sheffield United did a lot better this game than against Crystal Palace last time out. Picked their moment towards the end of the game. Didn't have a shot till the 70th minute, but then looked quite threatening on the counter-attack as the game got a bit stretched. Took a few risks and got their reward with Jayden Bogle's equaliser. Haaland's goal doesn't really tell the full story though of his game. Four missed chances, or three missed chances, and then the fourth time looking for the goal, obviously including that penalty miss. It was a really oddly frustrating game. City showed what they're good at. They were patient, they were calm. Their ability to punish mistakes at the back is absolutely unparalleled. We saw that against Newcastle last week, where they sort of made that tactical switch with Phil Foden on the right, bringing him inside and him really harming Newcastle. They just waited for a mistake from Sheffield United at the back and for space to open up for Grealish out wide and for Bernardo Silva out wide to get crosses into the box, and that's when they got their joy. For the first half and for large periods of the second half, Sheffield United really shut the space down, and they were really compact, I thought. And I think Man City fully deserved the victory, but Sheffield United played their part, and there's got to be a lot of people more happy coming out of this game than the defeat to Crystal Palace 2 weeks ago. And they've got Everton at home next, and they'll feel like they can get something out of that game, especially if they perform like they did for large swathes of today's game. Phil Foden had a little stomach bug. We just heard from Bramall Lane, who's standing in for Pep Guardiola, who's obviously had back surgery this week. City were workmanlike, and Lilo was talking about being happier with the performance than the result. I see what he means. There was a lot of the hallmarks of why City had the treble winners in that performance, particularly second half, where they were just brave enough and patient enough to wait for that error for that space to open up. But the reason I think the space opened up was Mateo Kovacic. Again, last week he was absolutely imperious in that midfield against Newcastle, against Joe Linton, marking him out of the game. This week he played higher up the pitch, really dictated the play in the second half towards the end. Won a free kick in the first half that Nathan Ake put in the goal but was offside, and then fed Erling Haaland in the second half for a really good save by Wes Foderingham, who was obviously really outstanding for Sheffield United in goal today. So just there's a lot to take from that game in terms of both for both teams. I think Sheffield United defended really well. They showed that they can shut the space down, and if you shut the space down, you go to a certain level to stopping Man City for a degree. But their bravery, their ability to wait and find that and find that right pass and just be there at the right moment is unparalleled in the world. And that's why they get so many points in these games, because they just go to the end. By the balance of play, if Sheffield United, through Jayden Bogle, got that point through Bogle's equaliser, it wouldn't have been deserved on the balance of play. But a minute later, Rodri pops up with an excellent goal and fires City back in front. With Arsenal dropping points in a similar game against home to Fulham yesterday, these are the kind of games at this stage of the season where Man City are not usually at their best, and they weren't at their best last week, but they didn't have to be at their best last week, just like they didn't have to be today, because in third gear it's that ability to just be there at the right moment and just win some points. And Lilo was really complimentary of Erling Haaland's mentality and the ability and that willingness to just wait out and be patient and not let the frustration get the better of him. I think most strikers in the world, if they'd had a game like his in the first half like this, and a lot of mocking, quite funny chants from the crowd, and a lot of people getting on Haaland's back in the first half, but he didn't let that get to him. He just carried on, and he waited for his chance and put it in when it mattered, and that's what makes him so good. He typifies City's relentlessness, and I just think that this City team in third gear at this stage, just picking up these points, if they're leading the way by Christmas, when they finally click and get back up into gear, when Kevin De Bruyne is back, when Jeremy Doku, who we didn't see today, is more incorporated, we'll see a much better City. And if they're already ahead, then that's quite ominous for the rest of the league and the rest of Europe in a way, in the Champions League as well. Mateo Kovacic was just absolutely superb in midfield today. just dictating the play in little pockets, ability to find that space and stand in the space. So he maintained it in the second half when it did appear, as Sheffield United went and chased the game, and then that allowed Grealish to stay out wide. And the one time he went on the outside, that was when he crossed for Haaland to score. He was cutting inside and making it very easy for Sheffield United to lock the pitch up almost and shrink the pitch, and it became quite a, City, Sheffield United were quite happy to sit in for quite a long period, and they were quite happy with the way that the game was going. Julian Alvarez played really well in this sort of attacking midfield role today that I thought was fantastic. He's been brought in as a sort of second striker to Haaland, but they're working really well in tandem. And yeah, God knows what's going to happen when Jeremy Doku starts to play and adds that sort of more direct play to City, because he's not afraid to go on the outside. That's what his game is, and City, I think, have a place for that in their team. They need somebody to go on the outside and just open teams up. In terms of Sheffield United, I was here 2 weeks ago for Crystal Palace and left here feeling quite deflated. Got quite a bit of stick from some Blades fans because they just looked flat. They didn't have anything to offer, and they looked like they were surrendering in the first game of the season against a pretty average Crystal Palace side. I did admit that there was a couple of signs that they could make. They've made a couple with, obviously, Vini Souza has come in, and he was on the bench in that game. Obviously, Cameron Archer will make a huge difference. He was unveiled in front of the crowd today. There's questions about James McAtee. Could he come back on loan from Man City? He was on the bench for City today. So there's a lot more positivity, I think, about Sheffield United and what they could achieve this season off the back of this performance. If they can play that against Everton, who look an absolute mess, there could be an opportunity to get a good result. But their season isn't going to be defined by games like this, and they did well to hold on, but City have just got that ability to just grind out results as well as play teams off the park, because their mentality is so good, their mentality is so strong. But yeah, for me, Kovacic was just the best player on the pitch beyond Wes Foderingham for Sheffield United. I thought he was the reason why the game unlocked why City were able to take advantage of the space opening up, and then Haaland is just you can't give him more than 3 chances in a game. If you give him chance after chance, he'll score. I feel United did well enough to keep them at bay, but excellent win for City. I think they'll go on and go from strength to strength. I think Arsenal's result yesterday shows that they're still finding out the kinks with Kai Havertz and fitting him into their side. Mikel Arteta's got a few questions to answer on that, but yeah, when Guardiola comes back, when De Bruyne comes back, if City are grinding out results now and playing like this now, then it could be quite ominous for the rest of the season. Cheers. See you next time. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back next week.